Welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. We're back in the studio, live and direct. I'm here, as ever, with my co-host, Andrew Cohen. How are you doing, Andrew? What's going on?
I'm very well.
He's just come back from France. You've had a holiday. You've had a mental health break.
He's gone on sabbatical from a sabbatical.
Yeah, like a
break from a break.
Victorian hysterical woman. He's been sent to the coast to the sea air. But it wasn't the coast, was it? It was deep in the forest.
Deep in the woods.
Yeah. So how long were you gone?
It's gone for 1 week, one whole week.
Yeah.
7 days, maybe 6.
That's quite a long time.
It was quite a long time. Didn't see another soul, essentially.
Right.
Because we can't drive, and you basically have to drive there. So we arrived, and
How'd you get there, then?
Well, interestingly enough, got a Eurostar, and for all of you news hounds out there, there was news, it's current affairs,
read all about it,
politics and economics. There was some issues on the Eurostar.
Ooh.
A day after we arrived, the Eurostar was suspended for a full day because they found an unexploded World War II bomb on the tracks.
On the tracks?
Not of the Eurostar, but in France.
Right.
Near the Eurostar.
Now, had they looked in that place
before? I think if I was in charge, and this is another, we need to pay him £100,000 to do it.
Yeah.
If I was in charge of finding all of the unexploded bombs of World War II, I think I'd find them all. I think I'd look everywhere on the train tracks to make sure there wasn't an unexploded bomb there.
Yeah. How much did you think it cost the Eurostar?
$1 and a penny.
More than 100,000. But then, how long is it? Are you paying this guy to do? Will you do it all in a year?
Now, this might shock you, Horatio, but I'm not thinking about money.
Right.
I'm thinking about human lives.
People, you can't put a price on that.
You're all fucking. You're daddy cash nowadays, aren't you? You're going around. All you see is revenue streams.
All I see is rev streams, brother. It's all rev streams.
It's all rev streams. But yeah, I just it's never a problem, an unexploded bomb. Do you know what I mean? If I'm here
it's
and there's
never a problem, an unexploded bomb.
Taken out of context, that doesn't make sense. But what I'm about to say,
I guess it's the latent potential to be a problem.
Precisely. The fact that it's not exploded is a good thing. I don't know what my point is. But, you hear about unexploded bombs all the time. They never go off, do they? If they haven't exploded by now, they're not going to explode anytime soon.
If they made it through the whole war without exploding.
There's a lot of shit going on in the war.
I don't think that's true as well. I think, but the problem with like a war, which I guess shows sometimes how careless people in war can be.
Thank you for saying that.
It's very much short-term thinking when you're like, well, I want all of that side to die, so I'm going to put so many mines in this desert. And then, brilliant.
Then you go on holiday there.
But you guys were fighting over something that's relevant for like 10 years. It's 200 years' time, and now this whole desert filled with mines. You blithering idiots.
Yeah, because fascism isn't a problem in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scoff.
Yeah, I guess the far right is on the rise.
Yeah, sorry for ruining that. I agree. I agree with your point. Because, you might...
I just think
a German might end up going on holiday to Paris. Boom. They've died by their own bomb, hoisted by their own petard.
Well, it's more like in Afghanistan, there's so many minefields. Like kids can't walk to school because they're bloody... The desert they walked on, it's got mines in it.
Yeah.
And I just think as bad as the Taliban...
You're making some bold points.
Of all this awful shit they do, the two worst things are putting mines in the floor. If they do that.
Not in the floor.
Because it's like, you can be a cunt in your era, right? But it shouldn't be carrying on to other people's era.
True.
Do you know what I mean? That feels like a next level.
Every bomb should explode on impact.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to have a latent bomb.
You can act terribly, but it should be confined to your era.
So maybe we should make latent bombs or like tripwires. They should be against the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, exactly. And also when they knock down historical... That's like, lads.
What are you doing there?
Be evil for your era.
What's your most lamented historical site loss?
Well, there's quite a few in Palmyra. To be honest, I didn't actually know the specifics about it. It just looked like important things to... I guess it'd be like kicking down Stonehenge, which would be quite funny.
That would be objectively
it would be incredibly satisfying to kick the rocks down Stonehenge.
Andrew, we were looking at that.
I don't care.
We were looking at that. Come on. Yeah. So there was an unexploded bomb.
Yeah.
That didn't affect my journey, but it could have. But it didn't. So it was a close call for everyone involved.
Okay.
No one died. Yeah. My journey wasn't affected. Yeah. It wasn't affected on the way back. By the way, I'm sure I said this before, but fuck the French side of the Eurostar.
Go on.
They're cretins and they're bad at their jobs. It's obscene. The difference between the British and the French side of the Eurostar is stark. I don't want to use too big a word that early on the podcast, but it is stark. It is like, I don't want to go into it because it's actually boring.
Go on.
But
it's not boring.
Just put
It's
different.
what people listen.
I guess so. Just put different. So when you arrive at the British Eurostar, there's different lines. Crumpets, jam, and tea. The French, they just stale baguettes throwing them at you. What? You get there at the British side, and there are different lines for different trains.
Yeah.
Therefore, easing congestion. At the French, it's every man for himself.
Right.
Every time I've got on the French Eurostar, I've have to like holler at them, and then they're pissed off I can't speak French.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm on this train, and they're like, oh. I was like, well, I need to get on the fucking train. This guy's on a train 2 hours after me.
Right.
Then you get through, and it's always a nightmare. It's always a nightmare. Anyway, got there. It was all fine. Another thing I thought about the French is, you meet a lot of them.
Big nose.
I've had my fair share.
Not stinky enough. That's what they say when you bring them a smelly cheese.
Yeah.
They have a massive Vincent Cassel nose. They go, not stinky enough.
And then they slap it away.
They go, take it away and bring something stinkier, please.
It's true.
Like sorry to cut you off with
please.
French bashing, but I have my own French bashing. When I was recently in Arles, beautiful city, town, whatever. This is what the problem with France is. You have this beautiful weather. It was in Provence. It's gorgeous, but then you have to deal with the Frenchness of French people, and that's the contrast. So I walked into like one of those very nice sort of like lunch delis where there's a lot of cheeses in there, and it all looked nice.
A boulangerie.
Sort of. It was basically a sandwich shop, which we'd never have anything as good here. You go in there, it's just like rustic enough, but it's filled with cheese, and it fucking stinks.
You know what?
And it's like, it does taste better, but there's a Frenchman who spends 12 hours a day in there, and the kind of cheese is everywhere on different boards. Looks like nice cheese, sure, but you're just like, I want that stinky cheese. Do you want this sandwich? And it's like, you're in here all day, and you fucking love it.
Yeah.
I bet you love how fucking stinky it is in here.
Well, I hear that, and I'm gonna raise you one.
Go on.
Is that Elle made a startling comment, which I believe is true. I just haven't really put two and two together. When we were coming back and we were navigating the French metro, she was like, for fuck, why won't Parisians wear deodorant? They're stinky people. They don't wear deodorant. And then I had a whiff. I had a whiff, and I was like, you're goddamn right, Elle. It reached a high heaven in here, and I've never really come to terms with that point until you just said it. The French don't wear deodorant. And
they have big noses, so surely it's...
And smelly cheese. I think because their cheese is so smelly, they don't smell themselves.
Yeah.
Because there's always cheese about.
Yeah.
There's always the cheese stinking out the gap.
Yeah.
Therefore, when they leave the house...
cheese, it just stinks.
Yeah. So, sort it out, I guess. Hello to our French listeners.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is there's the obvious stereotype of them being pretentious, essentially.
Sure.
We don't have McDonald's. We don't do Old El Paso. We don't have the fajita seasoning.
You know the thing about McDonald's, right?
Go on.
Ironically, they are the biggest consumers of McDonald's per capita in the world.
Fucking everywhere in Paris.
Yeah, it's the biggest.
I couldn't walk 2 steps without seeing a McDonald's. And then...
McDonald!
And then, obviously, we were there for a week, so we brought our own Old El Paso fajita seasoning kit. Because we were going to have Old El Paso fajita seasoning. And then we got to the supermarket. There was almost an aisle dedicated to Old El Paso. Just
really?
That. Yeah. They think... they might have, they had a good range of seafood and cravats. Not cravats.
They had cravats and seafood.
They had cravats and seafood. There were hats in that shop.
So, Old El Paso, you've defended it in the past. Is it just childhood nostalgia?
I've defended it into the future.
Yeah.
And we'll never stop defending it.
But, I mean, you know the big criticism of Old El Paso, and we've talked about it on this podcast.
What, that it's not proper Mexican?
No, that it's like, why are you spending money on what is just a tortilla and a bit of powder? Just get the tortillas separately.
Yeah, I get the tortillas separately.
They do not come in the thing.
You can buy the spices individually.
So
I remember my first Old El Paso.
What's the kit?
I don't get the kit.
Right. So the kit is a load of bollocks.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's a load of bollocks, Horatio. The kit consists of 8 tortillas, 8 soft flour tortillas.
Sure.
You've got the Old El Paso secret seasoning mix, and then you have a...
do you know what's in it?
I wouldn't dare to. Okay. That's none of my business. Magic is the only thing I could say. And what is it? Not a case. What's a thing? A thing of salsa.
Hardly a kit, isn't it? When you have to get the veggies and the meat.
It's my biggest gripe of Mexican food in general.
Okay. We're really going swinging now.
What's the thing about Mexican? No, about the provision of Mexican food in the West.
Go on. Right, nice. Sort of Tex-Mex sort of stuff.
Tex-Mex shit. Why, guacamole seems to be a privilege, not an essential. And that's bollocks, isn't it? Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm paying £2.50 for a guacamole.
But
That's my
are
only
we shipping that over from Mexico?
The guac?
Yeah.
Guac.
Is it a guac tariff? I don't know.
Guarif.
Bloody
Trump. I don't know. What? Are we shipping no, we're not.
The guacamole, right.
In like tortilla.
It's become normalised. You pay £1.50, sometimes £2.
£1.50?
£2 sometimes.
£2. I'm staring down the barrel at £3.50 sometimes.
Yeah.
The other day I did it.
I guess it goes off quickly and it's expensive to produce.
It is. Avocados, are a thing. But yeah, the kit, it's a shame. If they had sour cream and guac, then you could call it a kit.
But yeah, it's a really light-handed thing of wording of a kit.
Agreed. My advice, it adds up.
If a first aid kit was like an old El Paso kit, it would just
that would be ridiculous. It's like if a first aid kit just had plasters in it.
Yeah.
It's not if it had spice and seasoning and salsa and someone's dying on the floor. Put the seasoning on. Soothe it with the salsa.
Oh, we got the wrong kit.
And then someone's up.
Someone get the old El Paso
and then
kit
it cuts to someone at home with a tortilla spread out, and they're just chucking plasters in there. And go, this tastes different than usual.
That's a terrible sketch.
That's a sketch we could do one day when we've got no ideas.
Quick, he's dying.
He's dying. Get the kid. But if that means these taste a bit different than usual, love. With like antiseptic pouring out their mouth. I actually quite like that. You might see that in a month or so. No, so I think it's kind of worth it. Because think about it. What do you need for a fajita night? You're going to buy, right, you need your onions, you need your peppers, you need your chicken. And I don't include beef.
No.
You can, but you need that, and then you need your seasoning. Yeah. You can do seasoning by yourself. It's not going to be as good as El Paso. That's what they definitely do, right? Then you need your guac. Then you need sour cream. Then is
there a geezer in the garden? He's got a tree.
There's men with trees in the garden.
There's a bloke with a tree. Is he coming to kick us out?
Maybe.
Is he going to start destroying the shed?
Yeah.
He stormed over here.
Is Izzy booked a gardening podcast for the next session?
He didn't like the look at us.
No, he didn't. Who would, to be honest? They're real men. We're just in here talking about old El Paso.
Yeah, it's funny. We're in a house filled with girls, and they always have men in here doing different things. They got the pussy guys who are us who are here talking about El Paso with pink microphones, and then real burly men from Eastern Europe who are knocking down trees,
doing real roofing work, and, bricks and stuff. But it is worth it because you add all those up. How much are you going to pay for tortillas, salsa, and seasoning?
I think I'd save money if I got them all separately. The kit, you're not saving money. You're just paying for the branding. Yeah.
Controversially, I don't put salsa on my fajitas. That's why I don't get the kit.
Right.
So therefore, get the spice, get the tortillas.
But you can get the spice on its own.
Yeah.
And that's fundamental. You should just batch. You should just batch buy a massive thing of the spice thing.
They don't serve them in bigger portions than one.
Okay. You sure you haven't looked for
Horatio? It's me. They don't. It is.
Can you not go to like a restaurant wholesalers and maybe get like a giant load of? I guess Old El Paso isn't.
Still have like a tub of it at home.
Old El Paso should open a restaurant. I mean, you'd go there.
Of course I would.
Yeah. Because it'd be good to go to the actual Old El Paso if it was like an ancient
you can't go to El Paso.
Where's that?
Mexico.
Yeah.
No, Texas. It's Texas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it isn't even Mexican, really. Yeah. It's Texas take on Mexican.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Old El Paso again?
I don't know.
So they sold them loads in France again. I remember my ex-French girlfriend turning her nose up at Old El Paso. And that's all.
Stinky.
And that's, and then you go in there and it's like, you might have freshly peeled prawns, but you're still fucking runts like us.
Yeah.
It's fine to be a runt. It's fine to enjoy average things.
Yeah.
Not everything has to blow your mind. And sometimes finding joy in mundanity is the real the real heart of life.
A friend of mine went to a mutual friend of mine whose French's house.
A mutual friend of yours?
Yeah. Well, okay, I was invited to go to a friend's house in France. Couldn't go, but my English friend did go.
Did you replace him with... You said, I can't go.
No, we're both meant to go.
But I know another English bloke who can go.
And she said... Sexist.
That so it was like a house party. It's got to be.
Everyone speaking French, and then they all got super hungover. When they woke up in the morning, they were super hungover, and they ate.
This place isn't stinky enough.
No, they ate, well, not far off. I mean, they ate raw tomatoes and hummus. Like they're hungover. They're like, oh my god, like that's you at your most runt like.
Yeah, and it's raw tomatoes.
Like, it shouldn't be a
just give me the trash.
No, but it's more like, who are you trying to impress when you're
Don't
hungover?
wash the lettuce, just put it in my mouth. Shut up.
Oh, I need a security report right now.
Give me the sausage so I need it. I don't care about the consequences. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
How did you manage to relax? Struggled.
I can't really relax.
You've prematurely gone British dad with your inability to relax.
Just hiked up shorts. Going,
just,
what are we doing now?
Well, I feel with you, it does always feel like you're late for the airport, or you're trying to get to the airport early.
I know.
Just every.
I know. And the worst thing about this was I had to relinquish control of it because it's Elle's house.
Right.
She speaks fluent French.
Right.
And
so you're a fool.
I'm just there going.
Yeah. You can't drive or speak the language.
No,
you
I'm
are
just
literally
going,
a child in the back. It's a
crying.
bumper seat.
Yeah. I mean, it was that we had, and surprise, we had problems on the journey back because this guy wasn't in control. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? As soon as he's out the driver's seat, where does it go? Off a fucking cliff. Whoops. I said book the taxi. Didn't.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Was it a nightmare getting back?
Well, no, there was a chance we nearly were going to miss the whole Eurostar because we couldn't find a taxi for the 20-minute journey to the initial train. But yeah, no,
that's a long time a week.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's doing nothing really, which is fine. There's stuff to do. You got to stoke the fire.
Yeah.
Although she wanted to be in charge of the fire. But there was like reading's been good because that's like something to do without doing anything.
Yeah.
I jumped in the lake a few times.
You feel rested?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. So. Yeah, no, I did relax.
Yeah.
I did relax. So good. It was good. It was fun to be in the middle of nowhere for a bit.
Yeah.
Spooky at times, when it gets dark for the first bit, you're like, shit, there could be some men out there. There weren't any men out there.
Sorry. You know where you put the tiny Allen keys?
What's that?
Nothing, just bollocks. The missus.
Just some chat. We can't get away from it, can we?
She's messaging me about Allen keys. Who's Alan?
Oh!
Do you like that?
Loved it.
Yeah?
Were you insinuating that
she's fucking a guy? I'm so insecure and
jealous.
Do
you know where Alan's keys are? I'm trying to fuck him.
Who is he?
Who's he? Who's Alan? Why have you got his keys? Yeah, that's good.
I'm going on my holiday this weekend, going to Amsterdam. Amsterdam. Have you ever been to Amsterdam?
I haven't. What are you going to do? You're going to fucking
there's some friends out there. Yeah, I'll probably...
What friends you got out there?
My sister's friends live out there.
Right. It's a pretty weak connection.
Yeah, I'll probably walk down the streets with my hands behind my back, smiling.
Going, okay. That's a bit of fun.
I see, yes.
We have got activity in the garden, just by the way, if anyone can hear anything. Not entirely sure what's going on, but we'll just cope with that.
The fact that we don't pay rent does mean that we,
have to put up with gardeners.
Beggars can't be choosers. We are just people.
We're basically gne's.
Yeah. We've got foxes walking on top of us.
We're gnomes that have come to life. Go on then. What's happening?
I don't know. Well, we're only there for 2 days.
Yeah.
So I'll probably fucking have a saunter around.
Yeah.
Eat
two
nice food.
days.
Yeah, not that long.
Does BB like a city break, or is she a relaxer?
Yeah, she does. I mean, she didn't before she met me, and now I've forced her. Yeah. Even though I think she probably is more of a beach holiday gal.
Yeah.
Than
Flip-flops.
being dragged around cold art museums.
Flip-flops, not clogs.
Whereas I'm quite a stoic traveller in that.
Flip-flops? No, stop.
I'm not like... I like... Yeah.
You don't like to have fun?
No, well, I like... Yeah.
You like to kind of pensively take things in.
Yeah, exactly.
And then come back feeling worse
Amsterdam's
than when you
kind of good
left.
for that because it's actually further north than here. It's colder.
That's good.
And there's lots of great art museums and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Yeah, just like, passively.
I want it always to feel like a school trip.
Yeah, whenever you're on holiday, I just imagine you going, okay, right, yeah.
I'm there, sat cross-legged, drawing a Van Gogh with a pencil.
This is interesting. Okay, well, that's fun.
But we haven't really talked about the whole Trump thing because it was almost too big and he was doing too many things.
And we kept missing it in fairness because of our when.
We missed the Gaza video.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? The AI Gaza video.
Yeah.
Which is probably the maddest thing maybe the maddest thing he's done in some ways.
So you know that he didn't make that?
No.
He just reposted it?
No, but onto his direct account.
Yeah. So that is that's a validation of it.
Yeah.
Because I thought he made it initially, but
the whole era was like this era of Trump where he's sort of like getting people on like a talk show host.
Yeah.
But they're other countries. Like I don't remember people having this many leaders visit them in the white. I mean, he's getting them on, and it is kind of like, it is funny. It's sort of like this.
Yeah.
Where he's got Macron on, he's got the Irish president, Starmer, Zelensky. They all just sit in the chair, and then he will roast them or say they're the best.
Yeah.
I love the whole team tagging Zelensky. That was funny.
Go on.
It's because all of those ones, it's been kind of one-on-one, Macron, Starmer. And the Zelensky one, it zooms out and it's like...
And there's just 50
guys
Americans
calling him a piece of shit.
Say thank you. Why are you saying thank you, mate? Yeah, it was pretty bleak.
And they got the Irish guy in. I don't know what that one was about. Did you see the Irish one?
When was that recently?
Yeah, that was recently.
I've had the phone's been off.
Oh, fuck, you've been... Yeah.
The phone's been off.
But I don't know. It looks like he is crashing the economy. That's the new one.
Reshaping it. He doesn't care how the stock markets do.
Right. Well, I want it to go as badly as possible.
Go on.
The American economy, I think it will be really quite satisfying.
I mean, it would be satisfying if it wasn't important for all of us. It's not.
No, but it's only like how much
we're
can
quite
you do?
intrinsically tied.
Yeah, but how much can you do in like 4 years? Like
a lot.
Yeah, but
a lot. You could do a lot. I don't. Yeah, I think
it would just be satisfying for how cocky they've been. If they completely cunt the economy off, they will be replaced in 4 years anyway, and then people won't try the shit again.
It's true. I agree with the sentiment.
Yeah.
However, it's going to have too many practical implications for us. It's bad for us. It's kind of bad for all of the West, and it's just going to make China more powerful, which isn't really good for us either. It's pretty gnarly stuff. He seems to be trying to. He's saying he's reshaping the whole thing. The interesting thing is he doesn't care about the stock market nowadays,
right?
Which is kind of
because he's fair.
Is it fair? Not really, because he's a business guy.
Yeah.
And then when you don't have any confidence in US business, but he doesn't care. The change is that last time that would have affected some of his policies. This time he seems to be care. He doesn't seem to care. He's just plowing ahead because he seems to be reshaping it as a way more isolationist nation because he's just punishing his allies for perceived like us leeching off them for the entire time.
Because the UK, it looked like we were probably going to go easy on the tariffs, but we got the same tariffs as everyone else. But in one of those talk show meetings that Trump has in front of the cameras, he did say, Stormy, working very hard to get these tariffs up,
Yeah.
I kind of like that transparency where they come out of a meeting and they're just telling on each other. Yeah, he was begging. It was really embarrassing how much he was going for it. That's quite fun.
That's like, what? Come on, mate. We're meant to be fucking...
international diplomacy.
It's closed doors.
You should have seen him.
He was a bitch. He was a loser. Sucking me off. But it's kind of mad. I mean, it will be bad for America, is what I'm reading.
Basically, I'm seeing that Fox News, first couple of anti-Trump things during the stock market. So that's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah. Well,
see it all implode.
That's part of this establishment, I suppose, he's attempted to take on.
But his whole thing is getting a big part of his campaign was he was picking up eggs and saying bloody hell these are expensive.
Well, there's an egg crisis.
Oh, I pulled that example out of my...
Strange.
What do chickens lay their eggs out of? Their vaginas, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say there was probably a nice way I could have done that, but it would have just been you don't lay eggs in a pouch.
It's like a kangaroo.
Okay.
What? Yeah.
So,
but there is an egg crisis.
How is that?
There's an egg supply crisis in like Southern America, and eggs are costing £1 billion.
But because of the tariffs on all shopping goods, probably going to go up.
Well, it depends, but mostly, depends where they come from.
Well, Old El Paso won't because it's from America.
Old El Paso won't, no. But what's that beer they will drink?
What from
Mexico?
Oh, what Desperados?
No, but that would go up.
Yeah,
I mean,
so all of our prices going to go up now.
What, more than they already bloody are?
Yeah.
Probs. I don't know what the UK tariffs. I haven't seen much of them.
25%
on what? Like steel?
Everything.
It's not everything.
I don't know.
It'll probably be steel and fucking.
If you have like an item that doesn't fall into any category, so like
miscellaneous.
You're gonna say porn?
No, just like I don't know. I can't think of a like Beyblade.
You can't think of anything.
A Beyblade.
I can't think of like a kind of
toys.
Well, you're trying to think of an uncategorizable thing, which is almost
something like that. Like
But we don't buy and sell air, really.
Fine, but
you can in China.
Can in China,
it's categorized. Everything tariffed is categorized.
Well, you can't buy and sell it air.
Well, we're just going to start selling air then.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really work.
No one wants to buy it.
It'll be like, it's a 20% tariff on steel, but we can't really pivot to selling air.
Yeah, it might just send a message. It might just send a strong message.
What
yeah.
Well, like we're like mafia bosses.
we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
We've got loads of this.
Well, that's
stuff.
kind of what
But that's kind of insinuating we can replace steel with air.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously can't.
Well, for a minute, Charlie had something then.
But
hold on.
This is the country that invented the Dyson Airblade. So I definitely think if air, the manipulation of air to be something that it's not, we've got the guy to do it.
We've got the guy to do it.
If anyone's going to turn air to steel, it's fucking James Dyson.
James Dyson. We should get him on the case. Is he on climate change?
Huh?
If I feel like, everyone's talking about Musk sorting out climate change, which obviously isn't going to happen anymore, really.
Yeah.
Get Dyson on the job. What we need is we need a Hoover. We need a big CO2 Hoover.
Well, we've talked about this quite a lot. I like how you put James Dyson and Charlie Bingham.
I feel like
They're the two.
James Dyson is the...
They're the British Elon Musk and Steve Jobs.
Precisely. And they're the top of their fields.
Yeah. But we've talked about how James Dyson, he's our generational engineering talent, and it's a real shame that he's focused so much on Hoovers.
Like, anything bigger. Thinking just dream a little. Well, to be honest, and Charlie Bingham.
Yeah, because also like
we've got the two best minds in the country are focused on Hoovers and chicken tikka masalas.
But we've realized that the situation, Europe has not innovated tech compared to the States or China, and it's really put us in a sticky situation, seeing as we don't really have any big players in the game.
No.
It's because our fucking guys are working on Hoovers
and chicken tikka masalas. What we need.
And this is actually now affecting national security.
It's true.
Is that you can't. You become a bitch boy because it's just focus on bigger stuff.
It's true. It's true. Our specialism is cleaning up dirt around the house. It's like we're making robots that can speak to people perfectly. Yeah, well, our houses aren't dusty. And our bellies are full of lovely chicken tikka masala. That should be a national policy of making Dyson and Bingham pivot to AI.
Yeah, well, it's just maybe a bit more of an authoritarian policy where when you see a talent, don't let the free market.
You can't do Hoovers.
Yeah, sorry, lad, you're too
good at what you do.
Because that's what the Soviet Union would do that.
Yeah.
It has talent. It's like, well, you're working on the space program. You're smart. Yeah. That's what we got to get with Dyson.
Look at him.
What are you doing? No one cares. It's a hairdryer.
It's a hairdryer, Dyson.
Fucking grow up. It's a fucking hairdryer.
He looks a lot like Jon Snow.
Yeah, he does.
Reporter, doesn't he?
He looks like he's got kind eyes, but I think he's a cruel man.
100%. You don't get to the top of the Hoover bits
Of
without being
course
a
you
cruel
don't.
man.
Of course you don't. Fucking man. And he does a lot of the branding for Dyson is like, we've tried this Hoover over 2,000 times and rebuilt it 2,000 times. Rebuild it 10 times and then work on something else for the other two. Like, do you know what I mean?
Has he done anything other than Hoovers?
Well, he's got the Dyson School of Engineering, so that's pretty
But what
good.
are they? That's just going to be another.
I hope they're not
There's
bringing
just a bunch of fucking people that are going to do like different
What has
variations
James
on
Dyson done?
hand towels.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Airblade was a real. But
It's odd
once
to
again,
be that good. Surely he can. But
didn't you
diversify.
didn't you find the Airblade? It was like this is sort of like a 2059 invention.
Yeah.
But we don't. It's not like it is way too good. We're not at that point where we should have that good hand dryers. Do you know what I mean?
Given the state of the economy.
Yeah, it's like it's too much too soon.
I'm paying £5 for butter, but I can dry my hands really well. Can we pivot? Let's get
because that's genius. The Airblade is fucking genius.
But also, and look, it is, and it's kind of.
Imagine Airblade in your house.
It's.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Would you like an Airblade?
I like a towel. Just on this, and this is, I think, what he's doing. It's a bit like what the people in the 40s thought the technology would be like in the 2000s.
Flying cars.
And he's the only one who's doing it because they'll be like, you can dry your hands in this thing. And the other thing he's done is this bladeless fan. Yes.
Yeah.
Look. Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked by it. It's pretty impressive. Don't need it.
Don't need it.
I don't need a bladeless fan.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? What's the point? Dad has one. It heats and cools the room.
Depending how hot the...
Bladeless. I don't need temperature regulation that importantly.
Yeah.
We have heating and that's kind of all you fucking need.
Something I got recently out, the newest Dyson product is, what are you looking at there? The Airzuka.
The Airzuka.
Did he make that? Like, what's...
That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Let's have a look.
Have you used an Airzuka?
Yeah, I've got one at home.
Oh, they are sick.
What is it?
Have you not used an Airzuka?
Don't say it like that.
They are sick. It's like a slingshot where you fire air into someone's face.
An airball. An airball. And if you do it at dogs, they have no idea what's going on.
So it's a toy. It's a fun thing. It's not
a
like,
toy,
okay.
It's the Dyson Airzuka.
You have an Airzuka at home?
No, he does. He does.
Oh.
But when I was a kid, I used air bazookas.
Of course he does. Oh, right.
I don't have my own.
I was like a bazooka, but for air. I get it now.
How to use an air bazooka, brilliant.
Yeah, let's go on the
Let's go on the
instructional
Dyson mop. They've got a new mop. It's £900, right? And it's like a Hoover that's a mop.
A Hoover that's a mop, right?
Do Dyson mop.
In fairness, it's surprising they haven't gone into the mop market before. I mean,
So
to be
I
honest,
so that's you use it like a Hoover, but instead it's a mop.
mop, because look, there is a gap in the mop market because Hoovers were living in 2500.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. But
2039.
whereas a mop, I feel like I'm a Victorian charlatan.
It's true.
Charlatan.
Do you know what they need to work on? A Dyson poo stick. What is it? A Dyson
plunger.
Toilet cleaner, not plunger, because I mean plungers
toilet
are rarely
brush.
used. Yeah, toilet brush.
How dare you say poo stick? How dare you? You're not going to be on the marketing team.
Toilet brush. I'd like Dyson to innovate that.
A Dyson for every situation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because I don't need a shitty brush. I think we could do better than that.
You know what? Yeah. Why do we have...
we've talked about this on a different pod, but it's literally like get a strong stream of water. You should have like a water gun.
No, that's spraying. The poo everywhere.
No, I think you can find a way that it can be like, it doesn't go everywhere.
Yeah.
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 I'm just thinking, every time I use it, I'm like, a medieval peasant would completely understand this invention. And I feel
it's true, yeah.
The toilet, it would blow his mind.
I don't think it's changed.
And then you'd get a fucking, just a toothbrush, a giant toothbrush to scrub shit off. And you'd be like, well, I get that. That makes perfect sense to me.
I think really where the innovation is going to occur with that is within the toilet. You know, there will be a setting to cleanse the toilet. Japanese are already on it.
Yeah.
Charlie.
I think it'll be a, you know how they clean the fish tank in Finding Nemo with the big laser? Or how they scan.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'll be a laser scanner that wipes. It'll be like infrared.
And then like a targeted stream of water.
Scan. Yeah, and it will just take it all
that
off.
would be nice.
But then again, I don't want my toilet
would it be
constantly
sort
scanning.
of like, would it be kind of like, you know when you get a tattoo removed? And
laser.
It goes tick, 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 tick,
Could
tick,
be.
tick, tick. Instead, it just does that with the...
Could be.
But it's probably too intense.
Could be. If you want it to be. Do whatever you want, mate. Yeah,
Yeah. So let's get Bingham off ready meals and on to like, I guess
AI, climate change,
humanoid robots.
Yeah, get Bingham on AI, Dyson on climate change. Because we just need a big sky hoover.
Yeah.
Surely he should be. This is Dyson territory.
He could play the long game, which is we've all been judging him for not being ambitious enough until he does the Dyson climate
sky
change
hoover.
Sky.
The Dyson sky hoover.
Fair fucks.
Yeah, like and then he goes, "There's a Dyson for every situation," and then we go,
"Fair fucks."
We hold our hands up, James. You've solved climate change. I feel like he could do something on
that. Well, I guess the Dyson of architecture is Norman Foster, right? And he's building the new Manchester United football ground. Have you seen pictures of this?
I haven't.
Have you not?
They're doing a new football ground.
Oh, this is crazy.
Well, they
it's
do
going to be
with
$2 billion. They're going to demolish it. To be fair, so you know...
They're demolishing it?
Well, to be fair, it's like falling apart.
Right.
But the plans are fucking crazy. So this is they're going to redo the whole area.
Fucking hell.
And it's designed by Norman Foster, who did the Gherkin.
100,000. He did the Gherkin. That's my favourite building.
Is it?
I love
you love Norman Foster's work. Also,
wow.
So yeah, and it's going to have the biggest. I don't know why I'm promoting this. Like I'm building it.
You've got to check out Foster. It looks like a tent at a festival.
Yeah.
Is that
It's got the largest it will have the largest covered open air public space in the world. Are you into that? I think it looks awesome.
It does look good. I'm into it.
And it's meant to be the Tridents, like the three Tridents.
I like that. I like that.
Well, that's because it looks like they're having a good time.
Yeah, they're having fun. I think
it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm
excited for it. I don't know why I'm getting gas for it. It's not even
my team.
Yeah.
Is that a lift that goes up and down it?
Don't know. They always have. Whenever they do something like this, they always make some sort of like
the abomination that is the Brighton Eye 360.
Yeah.
Absolute dog shit. It's a cock ring going up and down. You guessed it. A cock.
Well, I mean, if you could watch the game from up there, that would be interesting. Well, probably not.
Of course you could.
It'd be bad seats.
It'd be pretty high up.
Yeah.
100,000. You see, that's not even that much nowadays. You know what I mean? All these bloody stadiums.
Well, if there was a restaurant up there, that would be good.
Probably will be.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't care about the height I'm eating at. Everyone goes on holiday and they're like, I ate at this restaurant that's really high up. And I'm like, was the food good? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's
You seen that spinning one? Looks awful to me.
I guess, look, me too, but I do understand the appeal. So people, it's often like, someone types in fancy restaurant and it's dinner up the Shard. Like
Exactly.
It's like an NPC's idea of a fancy dinner. But if you don't go to
like
fancy
a Gordon
dinners that
Ramsay
often,
burger.
Yeah. But if you don't go to fancy dinners that often, you've had a big promotion at work.
Yes.
You and the missus
Senior
go up the
management.
Shard. You have a glass of champagne. You look over the city. I understand
and then
that.
you put your hand over your girlfriend and say, "This is ours now."
Yeah, exactly.
You just been-
and then they're like, "Can you move over because there's
There's
other
a more
guests coming."
important person coming in here.
Right, sorry.
By the way, you need to.
You need to buy some more if you want to. You have
If
to
you
buy
wanna
more
stay
than
here.
a starter if you want to stay here.
Yeah.
We'll be off.
You've got to have a main, guys. You don't have to have a pudding, but
Let's go on to some of Norman Foster's other designs. Go on Apple HQ, Norman Foster. Now tell me what you think about this building.
he did Apple HQ.
Yeah, have you seen Apple HQ?
Maybe not.
Look at that. I like that.
Yeah,
It's like an infinity circle.
it's like a circle, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it's got like a park in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't mind. It's a
pretty
circle,
good.
isn't it? I mean, I could have come up with that.
I like older stuff, like thatched roofs and
We want big,
churches.
Well, it's
I
Apple
think it is a
HQ.
bit horses for courses here because I'm not sure a series of thatched houses would work too well for the productivity of the Apple workers. What would you do for Google?
Yeah.
just like a kind of big cathedral.
But I'm just saying, part of the reason why you think about this architecture is because it's modern. But in 1,000 years' time, this whole era of architecture, people are going to be like,
Wow.
go so hard. Like we're going over like brutalism now, which for a while it was like, this is truly some of the shittest architecture ever done. And, now, for a
it's
little
like-
bit, we're like, oh,
You
it's
see,
cool.
it meant something. It meant
Go,
something.
just do Zaha Hadid architecture. I like this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. See, in
Just like a slide.
in 200 years, this architecture is going to.
Yeah, that's
This
popping
we
off.
looked as like a golden age of architecture, I reckon.
What do you reckon's the next phase of architecture?
Go on like Beijing Airport, Zaha Hadid.
Strange answer.
Look at that. That's
That's a good. Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah, that's great. It's a big starfish, isn't it?
Yeah. Admittedly, it's quite visual at the moment, but you can watch on Spotify video now.
Yeah, we'll go subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah.
Promote the
So
podcast.
Andrew gets his money's worth.
Yeah. You need it.
Yeah.
I like flowy stuff.
Yeah.
I like stuff that meant like, I'm quite into this whole naturalistic, natural city thing. Trying to
Right.
make the city appear part of, so we don't live in a hellscape. I'm not much of a brutalist man.
Yeah.
I want something that reminds me of the hills of Sussex.
Yeah. Right.
Breathe it in.
Oh, yeah. So sort of like the Brighton Stadium is built to
Exactly.
be in
exactly like the
tandem with the
Brighton Stadium.
Downs.
Precisely.
Yes, me too. I like. I think for this period, it's like it's wiggly woggly architecture, is it
Wiggly-doggly.
not? Like the weirdest skyscrapers. I think that's going to be the big innovations.
If you were to do a building,
Yeah,
right,
go on.
I am the city councillor of a city, right? I'm in charge. I'm the mayor.
Yeah.
And I say, Horatio, what we need from you is a new building. And I'll tell you what we need this building for. It is a hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a specialist hospital with not many patients. They just do specialist brain surgery. But
Private, high end.
it's
Doctors for the Stars.
Doctors for the Stars. But no, you can get there on it. We're getting too into that.
Right.
So there's not, it needs to be practical, yes, but we want to make a statement with it. We want to be bold, showcase our brain surgeon skills. It needs to be in the center of the city,
Yeah.
and there needs to be some green space in it.
All right. Well, I'd do a skyscraper that's shaped entirely
just be
like
a
a
big
syringe. That's quite good. But like
go
a
on.
syringe, and what would be the innovation is that the bottom is tiny.
Yes.
So it's like it looks like it's balancing just on that needle.
Oh,
and you
so the
go
syringe
in
is
and you have
down.
to get the lift up the syringe before you even get into the atrium bit.
Or,
And I mean, it's very unpractical because you probably
And-
don't want. It's like a reverse shard.
and when you get to the top, when you get to the top, so that's the top of
Yeah.
the syringe.
Yeah.
That's just the lift, and then when you go down, you press the syringe. So it's like you're pressing the bit of the syringe.
Wait. So the whole thing moves down.
Yeah, and it looks like you're
So
pressing
whole
the syringe
well,
into the
That's something that's not been played around enough with sort of skylines of cities. It's movement stuff.
Movement.
Which I guess London's sort of getting there. Do you know about the Tulip skyscraper that got planning permission?
anything about architecture. I presume I don't know about.
All right, good Tulip, and it got planning permission and then it got scrapped. But this was
Oh,
by
maybe I
Norman
have
Foster.
heard of this.
Norman Foster.
It's
Built it.
Foster again.
Yeah, he loves it. He's mad for it. Tulip.
Let's have a.
Let's have a look at it. So this was, and it kind of.
I'm not
about
into
that?
it.
Nah.
I'm not into it. I think that looks shit, especially right by the bloody gherkin.
Well, man, that's sort of the idea for London skyline.
I'm not a thin tower, man.
Yeah.
I like the Shard.
What is it? Because you got burned by the Brighton Eye?
Got burnt by the eye. The eye. No one likes the i360. Sorry, apologies. The British Airways i360. Fuck off. It is the worst thing that's happened to Brighton.
Yeah.
You know what I would do is, those sort of burgers that you can see like Steve Harvey's face in, or
Yeah, I kind of
don't know those.
I would design my
I don't know
city
those.
with like, so you'd have.
I don't know those
You'd have
burgers.
the leisure
Can you
centre.
explain
I don't
those
think you
burgers
need.
to me?
Imagine it. Like you can
You
sear it
squint
in.
onto the
squint your,
bun.
if
You
you
can
squint
sear
your
it
eye,
in.
you squint your eye, and then you can see like Hitler in the burger or Steve
By
Harvey in them.
accident or on purpose?
I think they've done it on purpose.
Is it hold
Hitler
on.
burgers?
Does this
Yeah.
burger exist?
No, it's just online.
So it's like what's it
It's like
called?
it's a CGI,
Right.
or they've just done it on like paint.
When
or
I said
something.
I knew what you were talking about, I take that back.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey burger, look.
All right. It's like what's that thing? An optical illusion.
It's basically if you squint like that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Squint your eye.
Yeah. I don't even need to squint. Weirdly enough, I don't even need to squint my eye for that.
Now that is really interesting because I cannot tell why that looks so much like Steve.
But
Harvey.
it does immediately.
But then you look at the individual bits and there's
Have
no
you
clue.
have you
Describe
squinted?
it. Describe it for the listeners.
So it's a
burger.
It's hard to say. It's a side shot of. So I thought it was Steve Harvey's face sort of printed onto a burger, but it's
That
actually
was, yeah.
just a burger that's sort of built in a way that
The
it
proportions of Steve Harvey.
kind of unbelievably.
Do you see those on your feed a lot?
Yeah, I guess. So.
Not just burgers, but
Yeah.
have you squinted? Because it is quite something if you squint.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
What I would do is basically design my city
Oh,
like that. So the leisure
Right.
centre would have Andy Murray's face if you kind of squint.
oh, that's
in
quite
the-
fun. So the leisure centre would have
The cathedral would be kind of
yeah. So
Dawn
it could
French.
be odes. What? Yeah, the figuratively. So it could be odes to different local celebrities within each building.
national icons. Really, I'd do the whole country.
So in London, you could do
I'm
that.
just giving you hotspots to have another look for that. But,
Yeah, okay. So the leisure centre is Andy Murray. I like the cathedral being Dawn French.
Well, I guess look, if you're going to another city and you learn about their history, it'll be like a rich patron builds this amazing church, right? Do you want in 1,000 years' time for like a building to represent like Andy Murray, like to be that much,
Yeah.
as opposed
I mean,
to
you could go
reading a
bigger.
plaque saying
Icons
great.
never die.
Yeah, I
You
guess
could go
so.
bigger. You could have someone like David Attenborough is London Zoo.
Then it comes out.
Now
Attenborough.
that is an incredibly hard thing to achieve, but I like it.
But no, the skyline is about skyline.
No,
though,
no,
isn't
no.
it?
It's just.
So if we had to choose
Or
one,
is it from a
Oh,
bird's eye
sorry,
view?
sorry, it is skyline. Yeah.
Or bird's eye view.
Well, no,
No,
If-
from the ground. Because I want to be. Everybody needs to be able to see it.
if they squint their eyes.
Well, I think London Zoo's not very. You don't build up with London Zoo
Fine.
unless you're building sort of a zoo
Yeah, yeah,
skyscraper, which I wouldn't be against.
Well, if we could make the entire London skyline, if you squint, look like someone, who would we choose?
but is it like it's like a Mount Rushmore? It's a couple of people.
No,
isn't
it's
it?
all of the buildings in London.
Yeah, but it's not one person.
Okay, we can choose 4.
It's like fine. It's a Mount Rushmore.
Who would our Mount Rushmore be?
Mo Farah.
Mo Farah,
I don't know.
Jessica Ennis.
Yeah.
We'll just do that lot of the Olympics. What's that hot long jumper? Greg Rutherford. Greg Rutherford.
And then someone who's unrelated but important. Yeah. And then I guess like Albert Einstein for no.
Albert Einstein, not even English.
Yeah.
It's funny to do a national monument to non-English people.
But it's funny to have 3 Olympians
Gandhi.
from one Olympics and
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
We looked at the news and there's something fishy going on.
Go on.
What are these? What's happening with these Botox parties?
Yeah, I don't know what a Botox party
Can
is.
you go on BBC, please, Charlie, on the home news page? And I believe, look, something
Ain't no party like a Botox party.
warning over the dangers of Botox parties. So,
Now, do you feel an immediate sense of FOMO in the
Yeah.
sense that clearly people are being
clearly-
Why have
I have
we've
not
never
once-
been invited to a Botox party?
because we're not the caliber to be.
I guess so.
When people think of Botox parties, they're not thinking of us, which
No.
is a shame.
Yeah.
What is it?
We'd like, because we probably wouldn't go, but it's being invited that matters.
It's tough to go to a social occasion out of social pressure and end up with like a fucked face, just like big cheeks.
I just want to get invited.
Do you think you'll ever have Botox?
No, but my dad does. And I'm sure I'll slowly turn into my dad.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's just becoming. I thought it was going to be a bit of a fad. Stupid old me. Thanks. Dumb old Andrew making stupid points again in the past. Thanks for bringing that up. But it's becoming everywhere and everywhere. That now it is just a completely normal thing.
Well, I think we should, because we're in media, I think we should start early getting into plastic surgery.
Puff the cheeks
I
out.
think it's funny just if we have like really bad iPhone face. Because I mean, we kind of look quite medieval. I think sort of.
We look like friars.
You can drop us in any time,
And we'd be like, yeah.
We don't have a face that looks like it's seen an iPhone. You know? But I think we should start like getting like duck cheeks, like really bad. You know, person who spent loads of money to look like David Beckham. Is it that, or is it Kim Kardashian?
There's do David Beckham.
David Beckham plastic surgery.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
think
kind of want to have that where I spend like 80 grand. Yeah.
Oh God, it's not excellent.
Like that level of just pure body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Well, we're not trans, but we're sort of trans, but to being a celebrity.
To be a slightly an attractive man. It's a form of trans, isn't it, really? Who would you choose?
Mo Farah.
Come on. Give it a rest. Pull the other one.
Come on.
I might do Zac Efron, but the problem is he's now got a... Well, it did,
I'd do Justin Trudeau in blackface. That would be
good.
So I'd look like Trudeau and then I'd have blackface on top of it.
Yeah, just to recreate that photo. It's a good use of your time. Yeah, well, people are getting nips and tucks all over the place.
Right, so
and
I
think
you feel like you've just been like let into some sort of secret about the industry and it's shocked you.
You're
like thinking, only freaks get plastic surgery, and then you realise everyone, Dad, Grandma,
where's your face gone?
So you just realised that everyone's got it and you didn't think anyone
not just realised, but it's more just now. Like the conversation is, I think it's rare. Very rare for any woman I've spoken to who would be like, I'm definitely not getting it at any point in my life. All the ladies
women,
I
know. Women, yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. But men now, I'm just thinking we will. It's just going to be part of what you do.
Type in Jeremy Clarkson's face. So I think if you're not going to get any cosmetic surgery, you will look like Jeremy Clarkson.
It's true.
This is, because he's just like an example
He
of
hasn't treated his body well.
No, he hasn't treated it well, but he's sort of like, he seems like someone who's got quite an old school approach. That's what happens if you don't do anything.
It's true.
But then also you look like Simon Cowell now.
Well, the problem is
the two sides. It's Clarkson or Cowell.
But the problem is with all of these things is I feel sorry for the older generation of Hollywood stars, particularly women, probably hitting their 70s or 60s, maybe hitting their 60s now, is they were doing the first plastic surgeries
right before they'd worked
it out.
Yeah.
So now people are like Kylie Jenner, for example. Of course, her face is filled with it. It looks good. Do you know what I mean?
We don't know what she's going to look like at 70.
Exactly.
That's the real test.
I know, but it's just going to get better and better.
But then, are we not getting to a point where, because there's so much plastic surgery, it's going to be like, how good you look is how good the artist who built your face is?
Pretty much.
Do you know what I mean? It's going to be like, it's going to be like your face is a painting now.
Yeah.
And it's whoever's painted yours.
And then we have like branding on it.
Yeah.
Or like a sign of it.
And it's like now the most beautiful woman should be the man who built your face.
So then they'll be the famous ones. Models will become non-existent.
Well, like Miss Universe will then instead of them walking out, it'll be a plastic surgeon walking out, taking a bow, and everyone's like, "This is brilliant."
Or it's like Miss Universe, and it's like a catwalk show, and then the doctor comes out and bows, like a catwalk. Do they bow?
So the Kardashians, you look at them, and that's like whatever they're getting is the top of the top, right?
Yeah, they're
kind of the forefront. They're getting the James Dyson treatment of hair,
yes.
whatever.
Thank you very much. Yeah. The Bingham.
Yeah, but then because they're always shifting with the times, right? They're very trend based, right? So, for example, Kim Kardashian had slightly darker skin and a massive arse, and then she, as sort of fascism started coming back in, she dissolved her arse and went a bit whiter.
Out of respect.
What I don't know is like Kylie Jenner's face is very in now, right? But that will go out of fashion. Is she how
shiftable?
How
is
manipulated? How
do they
it's not
dissolve?
the smartest animal that survives, nor the strongest, but the most adaptable to change. Right? That's what Charles Darwin said.
And by definition, I don't know.
How adaptable to change is Kylie Jenner's face?
It's a good question. Some things dissolve, don't they?
You can dissolve it, but then what happens then?
Then surely you got some flabby skin. It's like when really overweight people lose loads of weight and there's loads of skin left. To be honest, you look better when you're overweight.
Let's type in who's the guy from Big Lebowski? What's his name?
John Goodman. Do you know it's such a cruel life that this happens? Do you know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
No. Like clothes on, fine.
Yeah.
You don't want to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I think there's surgeries to correct it, and I think it's one of nature's very harshest things. Is that when people are very overweight, they get back in shape, and then you see pictures like, have you seen before and after pictures when they're really overweight and then they're like incredibly skinny or like really good weight, but there's just so much skin.
It's like an empty duffel bag.
Yeah. Blowing in the wind. Do you know what I mean? It's impressive that they've done it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just such a tough ending to have.
Yeah.
You can get it taken out though.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Can you get it? Well, it's sort of like having your trousers taken in, isn't it?
Yeah, so
you'd have a tailor sort of like
re-hemming it, really. A couple of snips here, a couple of snips
there. But that guy, his nipples seem to be, if he let it flop out, would probably be very near his belly button.
That literally looks like a stingray.
It looks exactly like a stingray. The one on the right.
I would like to see him. I'd like to see him now jump off do a bungee jump.
Why would you want to see that?
Well, I just want to see what would happen to the things. Does it give any more?
He wouldn't need the bungee.
Maybe.
He just has to do jumps. It's like a hang glider.
It's like one of those those little
those monkey things.
bush babies.
Yeah. Just gracefully gliding around. Let's watch a video.
Right. Tory councillor died in crack den after tying bag over head while seeking sexual pleasure. Should we find out more about the story?
Fuck. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
A Conservative councillor died from suffocation after placing a plastic bag over his head and tying himself to a chair, an inquest has concluded.
Right? The conclusion of this inquest is that this man...
The conclusion is he's died from suffocation after placing a plastic bag over his head and tying himself to a chair. Les Winwood, a member of the Shropshire Council, it's always the Shropshirites, isn't it, was found dead at the home of a drug dealer in Bilston on the 17th of July. So a Tory councillor from Shropshire died in a crack den in Bilston from a bag tied over his head. It's always those blokes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is it always those blokes?
It's fucking boring being a Tory councillor from Bilton or whatever.
Do you think there's any truth in that? Like,
yes.
it's so boring that your sexual desires get more and more promiscuous. Your life is so boring that you're like, fuck it, I'm going to put a bag over my head.
A level of it, yeah, I do think it is the case.
You need a release.
Every man needs a release.
Yeah, okay. The 67-year-old. You know, my grandparents were... You remember when your grandparents were 67? The
coroner was satisfied no one else had been involved in his death. Now, he's at someone else's house.
So he's gone to a crack den and he's sat himself down in a chair, tied himself to it, put a bag over his head, started having a wank and died. And everyone's like, why are you here?
Is he someone's granddad?
Probs.
Scroll down. He had been carrying a bottle of vodka in a carrier bag containing other items. Now, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with other items. Depends what they are.
True.
However, Mr. Kennedy was charged with being concerned with the production of crack cocaine. So that's a guy in the house. There's nothing strong happening in this house.
So, but was he wanking himself off?
Surely.
Well, that should be in there.
We don't need a coroner to conclude that.
Sexual misadventure.
Well, I want that to be.
No, we don't know. We don't know.
Right. But I think I probably could have worked it out from looking at the state in which he died in.
We're presumed what happened.
Right.
This is my take. Is that crack den wasn't just selling drugs, Horatio. It was selling women. And he went there to buy one. He went there to rent one for an hour. And then he was like, can you tie me to a chair, put a bag over my head and wank me off? She obliged. Something went wrong. He died. They got out of there.
How good do you think it is coming when you're being choked?
Don't need to think.
It must be pretty... It must be pretty... I get choked up with shame sometimes before, so that
makes it even better. Even better. I mean, that's just part of coming anyway, isn't it? Mr. Laughy laugh over here. It must be good.
It must be, yeah.
But like, you know,
I can imagine that the contrast of pleasures. That's probably what. Yeah,
it's got to be up there. But like, surely you're never going to get close to killing yourself. But just thousands have killed themselves.
But it's the only people we know. We don't. It could literally
only people. I don't know anyone.
Everyone over 60 could be doing it, but we only find out about the ones who died. I mean, it is incredibly rare, and just so many people are doing it that you're always going to have some people slip through the net.
It's true.
It could be a lot bigger than because we only know about the ones that have gone wrong.
We don't know what happens when we turn 60.
How many of those stories of autoerotic asphyxiation do you know about when it's gone right? None. You only find out when it goes wrong.
It's true because no one's posting about their successful wank on the internet. Just did a bit of A.
Well, it's David Carradine who's the big one. You know about David Carradine, the guy from Kill Bill. You know about that story?
No.
David Carradine death. This is a great Google. Yeah, here we go. You know that actor, Kill Bill?
Oh, yeah.
But he's Bill in Kill Bill. You know he died?
Yeah. Was it auto asphyxiation?
Now go on Wikipedia, find his death. And there's a picture of it as well.
There's a picture of it?
Well, he was hanging a hotel room in Bangkok, yeah.
Carradine was found naked and had hanged himself in the room's closet with a curtain cord. Police said he had been dead for at least 12 hours and found no sign of struggle. Thai police suggested the death might have been from an accidental suffocation since there was no suicide note, and he was found with a rope tied to both his neck and his genitals. Yeah. I don't need to presume that that's a sex.
Right, hold up. What's the name of the director of Thailand's Central Institute of Forensic Science? Scroll in. Porn tip. Sorry, I know that's probably a lovely, beautiful Thai name, but that does feel
Porn tip. You can't be in charge.
You can't be in charge.
How's he got elected? Porn tip.
Porn tip.
Just the tip of the iceberg. Porn tip. Yeah, you know, people do it.
Horses for courses?
Yeah, just be careful out there. Horses for courses. But like, you know, you're playing with death, and maybe that's part of the joy.
That is part of it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's like go ape.
Yeah, but for your balls.
But like part of the thrill of go ape is the feeling that you might die.
But in a safe environment.
I guess so. I guess it's not people dying at go ape. There's people who've died at go ape.
Yeah. How many casualties in go ape? I'm going to say 0.
How many people have died at go ape?
I'm going to say 0. I'm going to say...
How many people have died at go ape? I think I'd crush go ape now. I don't know. I feel like
2.
Yeah. So
it's like the cold snap.
2 deaths.
It's like cold snap.
Yeah. Fucking hell, 2. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. There should be 0.
Well, yeah.
There should be absolutely 0 confirmed deaths.
The worst is people who've died in roller coaster accidents. It's like, well,
I'm just trying to have fun.
Well, yeah, that's.
It is one of the most embarrassing deaths. Go ape.
Woo! I know, no, sorry. Go ape, yeah.
Yeah, that works.
I mean, roller coaster.
You jump for stuff.
Yeah.
Anything where you're attempting to have fun in a dangerous setting that should like it's not dangerous because it's go ape.
Where it's basically kind of like a sort of tough mudder. Basically.
Actually, in reality, go ape is a bit dangerous because you do your own ropes.
Yeah,
that's what I hate. Yeah. That's what I hate about it.
It's scary. It's scary as heck.
I do not like that I'm in charge of that.
Yeah.
It's like
that's part of the thrill to give you a bit of an adrenaline rush, I guess.
I guess so. I'm not really an adrenaline junkie.
You're not an adrenaline junkie. No, you didn't. Have you been on roller coasters since you didn't want to go when you were a child?
No, I would. I'd give it a go now.
Would you give it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This stuff doesn't really. I don't ever want to do a bungee jump.
We went to. He was one of the few kids who wouldn't go on roller coasters.
Don't point at me.
I wasn't saying that. I'm not saying that.
I'm in the fucking room.
I'm not calling you a pussy.
I'm right fucking here.
The one thing I'm not calling you is a massive pussy. That's the one thing I'm not.
Thank you. I'm glad you're not doing that. And I appreciate your candor.
You're not a massive pussy.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's good to clear those things up because it sounded a bit like you were, but I appreciate that you were. Yes, me and Tom Doughty sat in the kids' pool all day. And we had
Tom Doughty plays for Bath Rugby, you know? He's
just retired.
Yeah. Well, what's that mean?
Couldn't hack it. Tom might still be listening, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a big listener of the pod. Should we dedicate this with like a rest in peace for Tom Doughty's rugby career?
To Tom. He's now getting a job with Paul Delaney's dad.
Yeah, of course.
It's good stuff. All right.
Thanks for listening, guys. We're gonna
scoot on over
to the Patreon,
to the Ron.
Where we'll do like an uncensored version.
Uncensored. If you thought this was wild, you have not nothing yet.
Bye.